I did. I guess we're not really playing it for the reasons I used to play it. The reasons I used to rent it all the time. My cords are all tangled now. I think we're good. Oh, I made a mess. I should have just unplugged stuff when I was messing around with my computer. The fan on my video card is starting to like click, but what happens is if I apply pressure onto the fan, it'll just stop. And it'll stay silent for like a few weeks, and then I have to open up the case again and like rinse repeat. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to fix that. I'm not 100% sure. Seems like a bad fan to die on you. It's keeping everything cool and it works fine. It's just making a clicking noise, so that's fun. I definitely don't want to replace the card. It's not a cheap card. The 2080. Oh well. That's life sometimes. Dude, that fence just appeared out of nowhere. Am I going crazy? So Alcatraz, I think so far we've never actually finished an Alcatraz race. We've always ran out of time with the checkpoints. Maybe this will be the difference. I thought about just plugging in the new controller that I have just to test it out in this game. I don't know. I feel like I need to test that out when I'm not playing a game. Something I know like really well. My understanding is that Ocarina of Time is a good test because you know if an N64 stick is good based on if you can do a spin attack. I think that's what a lot of people do to figure out if their sticks are working or not. Because it really tells you if you have like any dead zones or anything. I never would have even thought about it, but smart. People be smart. Man, these trees look weird. Nintendo Power ad, Rush 2 ad, very meta. My car does not feel like it turns. It's like jerking to the left when I turn to the left. Very odd. Thank you. I still haven't figured out why they applaud you sometimes. Applaud you sometimes. That's not fair. You saw it. It came out of nowhere. Like mesh fences are made to be invisible. It's like the worst rave. Wow, the guy in first is way ahead. Oh, shit, am I running low on time yet again? It's interesting in this game if you run out of time in like the checkpoints and stuff. It's not like you get disqualified from the race. It's just whatever place you're in, you're just locked into that place. Ooh. So like if the race ended right now, I would get a 4th place position. And I guess logically it makes sense. Why does the stick feel so sensitive right now? I don't know why. I wonder if I need to like unplug it and plug it back in. If like it was like held to the side or something. Right now, I'm having flashbacks to Wipeout. In Wipeout, when you run out of time and coast through a checkpoint, like you're at such a slow speed that it's just like you can't possibly make it. Oh my god, I'm gonna run out of time. Hello, Doc. How you doing? Something feels off about the way. Oh, third time, dude. Something feels off about the way my car's driving right now, though. After this race, I might unplug the controller and plug it back in, see if... I'm curious if maybe it was just off-center when the system got powered on. I don't know why it would have been, but I'm doing good. I'm kind of... It's another one of those weeks where, like, today's Tuesday, but I have no sense of what day it is. For some reason, my, like, internal clock is just off this week. I'm just like, I have no clue what day it is. I got distracted enough that all of a sudden I was like, wait, it's like a half hour till stream time. I gotta get ready for the stream. Like, I didn't even notice it coming. Yeah, having Monday off would be nice. I had to work, plus it was like a weird, like, snowy day. So like my drive home took like an extra like 20 minutes, which is kind of annoying. Oh well, it's been a pretty calm winter, so I can't complain too much. Oh, that was the end of the race. How about that? That race is only 4 minutes long. What the hell? Alright, I'm gonna try unplugging the controller and playing it back in. Hopefully it doesn't break everything. Oh. It's very upset at me. Sometimes with some games, the N64, if you unplug the controller, it just flat out freezes. It's very strange. I need to clean it because my Genesis is in a huge mess, but I got my 32X working, which I've had a 32X for almost 2 years, or 2 decades, that I got at like a garage sale. It was always missing a cable, and I never bothered getting the cable I needed, so I ordered one off of Amazon, and it works. That's cool. I have a couple of 32X games that I've never actually played, but my Genesis sucks pretty bad. Really ugly, it's really dirty. I need to go through and like deep clean it and see if I can salvage it. Also, I know I have like a bunch of Genesis games somewhere in storage, I guess, because I thought I had all my games here, but apparently I don't, so. Now that the N64 collection is done, I can go back to my project of just like organizing all my shit, because I kind of stopped doing it for that. I'm trying to get like all my consoles in like a state where I can just easily take them off a shelf and like plug the cables in. Like, I don't want to be that guy that has everything plugged in at once, but I want to be that guy that has easy access to whatever I want when I want it. So how am I storing these games? I don't really have a full solution right now. I'm quickly learning. I bought like a bunch of like cabinets at IKEA with like small drawers. There's like 6 drawers in each of them, and I bought 3 of them, and that's what I'm doing with my N64 games. And because of that, I have a bunch of extra. I have a bunch of extra drawers that I'm not using right now because I bought them with the thought in mind that like if I get a bunch of Japanese games, I want to be able to store them in there too. And I quickly found out that Genesis, Super Nintendo, like Atari games, all that kind of stuff, they also fit in the drawers really well. So I just started making drawers of other systems. And it's working really well, but it doesn't give me a solution for bigger cartridges, so like NES and stuff like that. I have zero solution for that. I don't really know what I'm going to do with my NES cards. But everything else is just either on media shelves or in the drawers. How's this compared to Rush 1? It's really about the same. I'm pretty bored with it right now, to be honest. Latest Quarterback Club I thought was pretty good. A little bit lifeless at times, but the animation is good, the audio is pretty good. Much better than the first one. So I'll be curious to see how that progresses. But yeah, this game we're almost done with. I'm anticipating maybe like an hour or so of this. And then we'll be rolling into Twisted Edge Extreme Snowboarding, which is a game that I always was aware existed, but I don't think I've ever actually played it. So, from what I'm reading though, it's just 1080 but worse. So, I'm not super excited for it, but who knows? Maybe it'll be surprising. Yeah, NFL Quarterback Club VOD. It's a long one. I definitely lost the game, and it's a very slow-paced game. It took me like an hour to finish each game that I played. Luckily, that was on Friday night, and there's a lot of people that stuck around for it, and they kept me entertained while I was playing. Otherwise, I probably would have got pretty bored. I get bored with sports games pretty easy when they're not like super engaging. This game I'm just looking forward to finishing because Rush, for whatever reason, it happened with the first game too. Rush just makes me tired. Like, I get sleepy. I don't even know what I played before that. Probably Wipeout. I don't know. This week should be a really good week for games though. A lot of it depends on how long Twisted Edge Snowboarding takes, but after that we have Rogue Squadron, which I'm so excited to play again. It's been a long time since I've played it. And I'm a huge Rogue Squadron fan. And then Ocarina of Time is straight after that, so. I don't know what version cart of Ocarina of Time I have. I don't think it's the like 1.0 cartridge that everyone seems to love. I got the one that has all that stuff edited out of it. It would have been kind of fun if I had like the original version, but I think that's just the gold cartridges, and I have a gray one, so. I don't think we get all the fun, like, chanting and stuff that they edited out. It's great, but oddly enough, like, I got it probably a few months after the game released. They must have went through versions pretty quick. 'Cause I got it for Christmas that year it came out, and I'm pretty sure it came out in, like, I don't know, November? So, they must have cycled pretty quick from a 1.0 to a 1.1. I'm pretty sure it's 1.1 though, because I think it goes all the way up to like 1.3. I don't know the differences between all those, but my Majora's Mask I know is like 1.0 though, because I got that like when it came out. I mean, we'll know if it's 1.0. I'm pretty sure it's not, but like I said, once you get to the Fire Temple, you know if it's 1.1 because they totally edited the music, and I think the graphics in the Forest Temple are edited also, if I remember right. So, the thing I'm most curious about playing through that game again is how long it takes me. I know the front half of that game super well, the back half I do not know that well. So, there'll probably be a point where I'll be like, what do I do here again? If I had like a lot more time with this, I would love to do like an all Skulltula run because I've never done that in that game, but I don't really want to put that much time into it. We just have so many other games to get to, you know. And I've been so focused on those two games that I really haven't looked at the list past that, so I don't know where we go from there. I think it's just a pretty wide assortment after that. I know there's a lot of sports games coming up again. We can't be too far off from, like, the first Mario Party. I know people hate Mario Party, but I'm looking forward. Oh, man. I don't know if I'm looking forward to playing the first Mario Party. My poor hands. These streams are going to give me blisters, aren't they? Mario Party 1 is... yeah. It's a rough time. A lot of spinning of the analog stick. I don't think I know the music that well, the music differences. I know I've heard them, but I don't think I have them, like, memorized. Man, how do you get good at Rush? I mean, I guess you probably just don't hit walls as often. I think my car's controlling a little better, but it still feels a little weird. It also looks weird. Why do my tires stick out so far? Is that how Rush cars always look? I guess so. It doesn't look like a normal car, that's for sure. Man, the Rush 1 soundtrack is so much better than the Rush 2 soundtrack. Maybe that's crazy talk, but I like that soundtrack. Oh, let's go for third, baby! No. What's your name? Alright. Seattle.
3, 2, 1, rush!
Oh, I got you. I got you. Actually, I think we're getting close to playing Castlevania also. I wonder how much of a nightmare that game will be. We have to play it twice. I've played a few hours of that game, never really put in the effort to finish it, but I think once you get past the horrendous controls, I think it's maybe okay, I don't know. Man, I've never been to Seattle. Does Seattle have this many hills? Did they just take a San Francisco level and like change the name? Yeah, Rogue Squadron's gonna be a lot of fun. There's parts of Rogue Squadron that I don't like, so maybe when I get to like, anytime you have to escort something, I always hate that, but other than that, I'm a pretty big fan. I don't actually think I've ever streamed Rogue Squadron. I think that was probably Rogue Leader. I think I've streamed Rogue Leader before, which is the sequel. Maybe though. I did do a lot of N64 games at one point. I honestly don't remember anymore. I remember once I did an entire stream of Tigger's Honey Hunt. There was definitely a time before I had this capture card that I still had a Dazzle, which is like a little USB connection for consoles, and I definitely did some N64 streams back then. I cannot remember the content whatsoever though. It's crazy how like you can stream something for like a dozen hours and totally forget about it. That is definitely a real thing. Before I streamed, I'd hear people say stuff like that, and I'd be like, you're not gonna forget that you did this or that. But now, as I keep streaming, I'm like, oh no, I definitely forget stuff all the time. Like some of these early N64 games, I barely have a memory of. Pretty nuts. Rogue Leader, I think, was actually the last game I streamed before I stopped streaming for many years. That was like on the tail end, so it might have been Rogue Squadron. I don't know. I'm in first. They both crashed. Show 'em how it's done, baby. That was it. Okay. That's funny. Man, this drum and bass. I think this game, like, I don't think it controls very well, but I think I'm starting to get a hang of it. He says as he explodes. But I am in first right now, which is kind of weird. I'm not going to be first anymore. A giant van just ran through my body like a ghost. I'm trying to think of if I've done anything since the last stream. I did do a Saturday stream, so maybe that's why I feel so far off. Oh yeah, this one definitely has a stunt mode. There's this, and then after this is Rush 2049, which is the Rush game that adds wings to your vehicle. Like Buzz Lightyear style, like extendable wings. Both of those have stunt modes though. The first night I streamed this, I did a run of stunt mode, and it is a lot worse than I remember. It wasn't much fun. I think probably Rush 2049 has a better stunt mode because the wings make it so you have air control, which this game you just don't have air control, so You're kind of hoping and praying on stunts sometimes that you land them on your wheels. Okay, I'm doing that same thing on that turn every time. I love how Alcatraz I can barely get through without running out of like time, and now my I have almost 2 full minutes to get to the next checkpoint right now. Bizarre. Yeah, Summit was what I did a lot too. I would always try to get all the keys in stunt mode, and it would be way too hard. How anyone gets all the keys in this game, like you'd really have to put in some effort, I think. They make some of them real difficult to grab. I remember having to play the Mountain Dew like drag race car when you get all the Mountain Dew cans. Ooh, funny. What I was trying to figure out though is if Rush 2 has an arcade cabinet. No, he blew up at the finish. Wait, how'd I get first? Oh, he blew up too.
What's your name?
What an undeserved victory. I love it. To Vegas we go.
3, 2, 1, rush!
I kind of low-key hope that we don't have another racing game for a while. I mean, I guess the next game's a snowboarding game, which is kind of a racing game, but I kind of just don't want to drive vehicles for a while. Like on the ground. I don't really... Oh, I'm trying to think what I have seen on the list. I think Penny Racers is coming up. Well, I guess that's a racing game. I haven't really played much of that before either. Those are like little, like wind-up cars or something. I don't know.
Checkpoint.
The screaming. It feels so unnecessary. Danger! Danger, danger.
Checkpoint.
What is this, Vegas? This doesn't look like Vegas. Do you think like when an N64 game models something after a town, do you think they actually like use a map to kind of try to make it semi-accurate, or do you think they just throw together landmarks that people recognize? I've always kind of been curious about like when a company maps out a racing game, like I want to know the process of like a real world location in a racing game. Or like The Crew, where you're taking the entire United States and just shrinking it down. I would love to see like how they figure that out. The process. It also makes me excited for like the Microsoft's new like flight simulator that they're working on, where it's going to be like a 1-to-1 ratio map of the United States. I'm so curious to see what that looks like. And like how it's generated. I'd imagine they just use like satellite data or something, because they can't possibly go through and render the entire United States.
Checkpoint.
Yeah, Wikipedia, originally Wikipedia's date, when I made the list, I just used Wikipedia's list for all the dates. I don't think I messed it up, but it's possible. But when I was looking up the game on how long to beat after I finished it, that's where I saw the date, and I was like, wait a second, this date doesn't line up. So I double-checked Wikipedia, and sure enough, now at least now I had a later date, so I kind of just moved it to where it's supposed to be. My bad. It kind of explains, I mean, it's not super far in the future, but it kind of explains, I guess it kind of just explains why it looks and plays the way it does with the expansion pack. Am I excited for more soccer? I'm kind of indifferent to it. Hopefully it's good soccer. There's so many soccer games. I feel like there's some game franchises that we've burned through almost every game. And then there's other game franchises where we have not touched a single game yet. It's kind of interesting. Some of it's front-loaded, some of it's back-loaded. Like, we won't even touch a Tony Hawk game until the back third, and then we have to play 3 of them. And 2 of them are in, like, the last 10 games. It's so weird. Yeah, Thanks actually I'm kind of excited for, because I know it has, like, a kind of crazy story. In, like, a weird way, so... I don't like the concept of playing as a tank, but it happens. Oh, Alex, how you doing? Sorry, I'm yawning. The yawns have begun. It's Rush, I tell ya. It's Rush! Rush. I played some Apex Legends before the stream for like the first time in over a year. And I have no clue what's going on in that game anymore. I've lost all ability to play it. I played like 10 matches. I'm pretty sure I got like 0 kills. I mean, I know I got 0 kills. I don't know how many matches I played. I'm very bad. I'm very bad at shooters. You don't want me on your team. So I do remember that one time that on like my junky computer, I tried streaming PUBG solos, and I just kind of hid, and I played, I got, oh shit, oh no, I'm stuck in like this area, uh-oh, oh no, we got a problem, I'm stuck in like a, oh shit. Okay, I guess that's a shortcut where I lost a bunch of places. But I got a victory in PUBG at like 10 frames per second, just hiding from everyone. Too good. Yeah, I won't play Apex with random people. I don't like playing anything with random people. Oh, that's the finish too. Dang. Get that first. I don't know. People are rude. I think that's the reality of it. I don't like playing with random people because sometimes they're just like jerks. So any game, if I have to play with random people, I'll turn off all forms of communication. But I don't want to see or talk to them. No voice chat. None of that. Plus, if I'm really good at a game and my teammates are bad, like I can be that like toxic player. Like I'm not toxic out loud, but to myself, I can be that toxic person. I don't want to put that energy in the world either. I don't want to be like, oh, this guy sucks, you know? You have to go outside, gross. What's that like? I haven't been outside in years. Dude, that was kind of an effective shortcut. It'd be kind of nice to never have to go outside again, actually. That's not true. I think I'd go crazy if I was indoors forever. Like, I'm not an outdoors person, but also, like, I need a little bit of sunlight every now and then, or I will go crazy. There's been those times where, like, I'll take, like, a week off work or something, and I'll just not leave the house for days. And it always doesn't feel great by the end of it. Sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's not. But I always tend to do that during, like, E3 week. Like, I'll just take the week off, and I'll just watch all the press conferences and all that stuff. I'm so less excited to do that now, though, because this year it sounds like E3 is just going to be a whole bunch of nothing. It's a little sad, but I mean, that's how time works, I guess. Things change. Yes, vitamin D is necessary, but also like if you don't live in like a winter area, winter can be a challenge. Nintendo's not gonna be there, but I guess I'm sure they'll do their direct. They always do a direct on Tuesday morning, but it sounds like they're not gonna be even at the show this year. Sony isn't either. It's really just gonna be the Microsoft show. I have no clue what Sony's plans are. I don't know if they're gonna do like a press event anyway or not. They've been so quiet about the PS5. Like I just want the info. I want to know when it's coming out. I want to know what's going on with it because that's likely the one I'll end up buying. Usually I'm that guy that buys like every console, not like right at launch, but eventually. I don't think I'm planning on getting whatever Microsoft's stuff is at all this time around. Even though I have Game Pass and stuff, I can play all their big releases on PC, so why bother, right? Winter's over there? That'd be nice. We're supposed to get, like right now, we're getting like a cold wave the next couple days, I guess. So it's gonna be, like, I think when I get up tomorrow, it's gonna be like -5 or something. But after that, it's supposed to warm up a bit warmer than it typically is. So that's cool. I think it's supposed to be like 40 something next weekend. It's pretty high for this time of year. But then I think about it, it's like February is almost done already, so I guess it checks out. Oh, mid-80s. I know that you guys don't want it. Like, you don't want the heat, but man, that sounds so nice to me right now. Though for me, I'm like an upper 60s guy. Like, that's my happy place. Upper 60s, lower 70s, that's the temperature I want all the time. That's where I'm comfortable. I can complain about winter all I want, but I also really enjoy, not having like super hot temperatures. I don't like heat that much either. Dude, that's 50s being a comfort zone surprising. It's like someone that lives in Florida. I feel like most Florida people I talk to are like 50s is freezing cold. Oh, watching that accident in real time. Gotcha. Isn't it though like a thing where like if you move somewhere like within like a year or two you've like completely adjusted to wherever that place's temperatures are? Like it takes it out of you. I don't know if that's true or not. Yeah, it's because heat's the worst. You always put on more layers when you're cold, but you can't like remove your skin when it's too hot. You're just stuck with it. You're stuck being in misery. Rats. But what if you could like remove your skin? What if? As long as you don't have to do like video calls or something, you're whatever. All right. Alright, I'm trying to get better at like using my brakes. Oh, thought I was being like really cool. I'm gonna like slide through there like a professional. What are you doing? They're just facing me towards a wall. It did not work though. Just poor driving. My horn button? Oh, there it is. Ooh. Dude, I was listening to How Did This Get Made today, and they're talking about the movie Space Jam and how it did like over $1 billion in like merchandising. And I'm just like, how the hell does that movie make that much money? What are they selling? Like Toon Squad jerseys? Maybe it's just the Nike shoes. It's probably the Nike shoes. I didn't even think about that. They did like Nike lines for that movie. Air Jordans or whatever. It's all coming together now. I just had to say it out loud, and now it all makes sense. It's the shoes, man. Shoes are expensive. You ever seen these people that like try to buy shoes when they come out, like the limited stuff? They go crazy for it. I wish I could be as excited as they are about shoes, about anything. Rush 2 doesn't get me that excited. Few games do. Oh man, I thought maybe that was breakable. There's no way this game has breakable technology. Animal Crossing Direct Thursday morning. They just got announced. I'll be curious to see. I really hope that I get something out of that. And I don't leave with disappointment. I mean, I've already got the game pre-ordered. It's gonna happen one way or another, but I desperately want that game to be okay. Just let it be okay. I want another New Leaf, not another, like, I don't know, City Folk. I didn't like that one. Oh, more Alcatraz. Alcatraz is a short course. So you know what? I think there's different tracks through this level. Because the first time we did it, there was like a 360 loop. Maybe you can only see it from one direction. Oh shit, I'm in the ocean. My car looks like it's becoming invisible. Stealth mode, baby. Uh-oh. Oh god. I just found a hidden cave. Did not survive the hidden cave. I'll never know what's at the other end of it. I mean, it's Alcatraz. It could be anything. What do you hide in the basement of a prison? Dead bodies? Is that what they do? In the basement of a prison? I don't know. And it must just be this track, because my car controls like shit only on this track. And it's only when I turn right. It's very strange. Dude, I want to find where that hidden shit was again. Oh no. Oh look, there's 2 keys up there. I don't know what place I'm in, but this seems like not ideal. It fit. I'm gonna run out of time on this course. That's what's really gonna happen.
Checkpoint.
It's always such a tight time. I'll never know what's down there. It turns too tight. What are you braking for, weirdo?
Checkpoint.
But I wonder if this game must have like keys that you can only get in like reverse. Because really, there's 4 different versions of all these tracks, so I guess there's probably just ones you can only get going a certain direction. Because that's the way the ramps work. Alright, I'm determined to find the turn this time around. I knew that fence was coming up. It gets me every time. That time, as soon as I hit the air, I'm like, oh, this is the spot. This is the spot where I die. I wonder if this game has like a hardcore mode, where if your car blows up once, you're just dead. Your car deletes all the data on it. You can never play it again. Sorry. Hey, Big Pharma, how you doing? Rush 2, this is a game that I think I rented probably just about more than any other game. I mean, that's probably not true, but I rented this game multiple times, for sure. I definitely remember playing the original in the arcade as well. Oh my god, this is actually really hurting my eyes right now. Yeah, Rush 2 is like Rush 1, except there's a bunch of extra stuff in it. It's got a stunt mode, it's got a half pipe, it's got like a stunt course, all that cool stuff. I don't think the first game had that stuff. Oh, there's a key hidden in that bush, I just saw it. I got 4th. I guess that's okay for Alcatraz. That level's just like brutally difficult. Yeah, this one just straight up has a course that's just a stunt course, and you just have like 5 or 10 minutes or something to get as many points as you can doing corkscrews and flips and all that stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And there's also Rush 2049, which is all that same stuff, except you have retractable wings on your car. Very futuristic. We're gonna get to the point where that game, like 2049 in our lifetime, will become an actual year, and none of that stuff will come true. What a bummer. No cars with wings. I mean, a car with wings, isn't that just an airplane? God, are we gonna get to some awful future where the self-driving cars take over, but then they turn into airplanes, and then they just self-drive through the air? Because that sounds terrifying. I want a robot flying me around. I don't trust a robot to land an aircraft that I'm in. At least have someone manning it. Whoa, brutal. We'll get to that point and someone will dig up the statement and be like, look what an idiot you were. This is the way life is now. Get a grip, old man. Boomer energy. Oh, that was not skirt enough. I'm playing this game like Burnout, where I just want to like knock the opponents into a wall so they blow up. Which might actually be feasible in this game, but My car is not strong enough. I don't know if this game has like weight classes in their cars, but it feels like everyone else is stronger than I am. It's almost like cars aren't meant to just run into each other constantly.
Checkpoint.
Fuck it, let's take this. I don't know where this goes, but let's take it. Is this a shortcut? Oh, I remember this shortcut. Does exist. Oh, does exist. Oh, thank you. Actually sped me up quite a bit. What a kind boy. Love the Hollywood logo when you're in reverse mode.
Checkpoint.
It just doesn't make any sense. They're a polite little golf clap. How come we haven't played that many golf games yet? I guess there's only 3 more golf games, but we're a third of the way through. Oh well. I don't know if 4 golf games sounds like a lot or not. 4, I don't know what percentage that is. What's 4 out of 296? We'll round that up to 300. Oof. Mario Golf, I think, is a ways off still. I mean, honestly, we haven't played like almost any Mario games yet. We played Mario 64 and like...
Checkpoint.
Is that it? I guess we played the Yoshi story, if that counts. But no golf, no tennis. Played Mario Kart already, I suppose. I'd say Mario Golf's probably in like the low 200s. Mario Golf's a game that I have zero clue how I'm going to play it on this stream. Like, what's a good goal for Mario Golf? I don't know. I did not randomize the order, no. It's in, we're doing it mostly in release order, minus one little mistake that I made. We accidentally did the game early because I had bad data in my chart. So, I figured release order, I thought a lot about the best order to do it in, and release order made the most sense because it splits up sports games. Like, if I do an alphabetical order, all of a sudden now you're playing pretty much every NBA, NFL, NHL game, all back to back, which sounds like an actual nightmare. That being the one exception. Nightmare Creatures would be the one game that would sneak in the middle there. If I can just imagine having to stream every like NBA game, every franchise in order, that would drive me absolutely insane. Plus, they should get better as I go on. Not necessarily. I mean, we started with Mario 64, which is a hard game to top. I think as we go, games will get longer, and I think frame rates will get worse. Especially once the expansion pack starts becoming heavily used. They don't know their own limitations sometimes. When we played Turok 2, and that was one of the worst frame rates I've ever played in a video game. And it was insane. And there's even like a low res mode in that game, and turning that on was not much better. I do think though, yeah, that the big thing is that length will increase as I go. Even the last like 10 games or so I've played, they've kind of got a bit longer. You regret selling your N64? Yeah, they're not super expensive at least, so if you ever want to replace it, shouldn't be too much. There's definitely N64 prices probably about 5 years ago went skyrocketed quite a bit. It's a trend that always happens in games. I've kind of watched like some of the collecting and stuff, and once once a system hits like peak nostalgia time, there's always like an influx in demand and prices skyrocket because of it. The N64 happened, and now we're in that with GameCube. GameCube games are very hard to get right now, and they're all worth quite a bit, and they only go up in price as this stuff happens, so it's kind of interesting. But then the second that stuff starts getting re-released in some form, like if Switch ever got an N64 like virtual console, the cartridges would start dipping in value again. But I recently finished the set, so for better or for worse, I now own a full N64 cartridge set. So it took a lot of work to get all those games together, but it was actually a lot of fun to do it. And anytime people find that out, they're like, what system are you going to do next? And in my head, I'm like, you know, I've done the thing once. I don't think I ever want to do it again. Collecting all the games for a system is the worst. An N64 is like a small library. I can only imagine people that are collecting like NES games and stuff like that. It's crazy. N64 is interesting because it is one of the cheapest systems to collect for until you get to the rare stuff. And that's typically the stuff that's in demand. So yeah, stuff like Mario's games hold value. Smash Brothers, yeah, holds value. Pretty much anything first party does. There's some weird exceptions to that, but most N64 games are $10 or less, I would say. But also, it's just because a lot of these games, no one, unless you have nostalgia for them, you don't want them. Three races to go. Oh, Gauntlet. I've never actually played Gauntlet Legends. There's been a few people that popped in the stream and mentioned Gauntlet Legends, and I think I'm interested in playing it. I've only played the original Gauntlet. I've never really played Legends. I've probably played Legends at some point in the arcade, but not extensively. Hello, McDee's. How you doing? I'm sorry, I still haven't put a way to use your points. You're finding ways, though. I mean, Gauntlet Legends is a sick idea, for sure. I wonder how good that game will be like by myself. I know it's kind of more of a multiplayer centric kind of game, but there's a few beat 'em ups on the N64. I've never played Fighting Force either, and the little bit of it I have played seems kind of interesting. Playing through Doom again. I mean, now's the time to do it, right? You getting excited for that release? It might be. I just don't know much about it, so. Oh, yeah, I was playing Apex earlier. I haven't played in like a year, so I haven't played since Season 1. I'm really bad at it, so I don't even know if I'll ever play it again, but it was fine. I was playing it with a few friends. We got a win. This is my first Apex win today. I got 0 damage and 0 kills during it, but I survived, so I guess that's something. No, that's cool. I have a lot of good memories about like playing through games with friends over. I remember when Conker's Bad Fur Day came out, I was 15 years old. Or 16 years old, something like that. But the rental place, I wasn't old enough to rent it, and the rental place gave me a huge hassle about renting it. I wasn't old enough. So I made my sister come with me to rent it, and then I had a friend over, and we played through the entire game in one night. Just stayed up all night. We played Conquer all the way, beginning to end, in one sitting. And that's like something that I'll like. I don't really like that game that much, but it's like one of those like memories I'll have probably forever. Like playing games with friends, especially like around like a TV. Such good memories. It's kind of sad that people don't get that anymore, but people are finding their own way to make memories with like online gaming, I suppose. But I definitely have those memories of like hanging out with friends, couch co-op type stuff, or just like passing the controller around, you know. I think that's what we did with Conquer. Die, pass the controller, you know. Come back. So I'm playing through Rush 2 right now. I'm almost done with it, and then we're gonna play Twisted Edge Snowboarding, which is like, my understanding is, I've never played it, but from what I was reading, it sounds like it's bad. So I don't really know what to expect out of that game. 1080 holds up so well, and 1080 was so much fun that I'm gonna be sad to play a bad snowboarding game now. Oh shit, I'm in the subway now. Fuck, I don't know if... Am I going this way? Oh god. Okay, I guess that works. What a bad race that was. I say that like it's almost over already, but I'm in 4th, so might as well be. Dude, I used to have friends over to play like Mortal Kombat 2 on Genesis, and then I eventually got Mortal Kombat Trilogy. That and Killer Instinct Gold. Playing fighting games with friends when like none of you really know how to play fighting games is pretty fun. Nowadays, anytime I play a fighting game with someone, they're like some super master, and I'm just getting destroyed because I'm not good at fighting games. I feel like the only fighting game franchise I'm passable at is like Smash, and that barely counts, you know? Yeah, Mortal Kombat I used to play in... Like, I used to play Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 in the arcade all the time, so I got pretty good at Mortal Kombat. But other than that, I've never really been good. I got good at Killer Instinct on the Game Boy, which is like the dumbest way to be good at a video game. But if you played a Saberwolf, like all of his moves were like back, forward, and a button. So you could strategically mash your way to like gigantic combos. But then if you played that game on like Super Nintendo, they were all like charge moves. So when I eventually got that game on Super Nintendo, it was like, oh, this is too hard. I'm sure the competitive scene was bustling. It's the first game I had on my Game Boy though, so like I got a Game Boy at Walmart that was bundled with Killer Instinct. So because of that, for a while, like I bought it with my own money. Like I saved up my money and I bought a Game Boy, and because of that, it was the only game I had for a while. So as you know, when you only have like a game on a console, you're just gonna play the hell out of that one game, no matter how bad it is. And then eventually with my Game Boy, I got into like trading games with other people, and I would always get the worst deals out of it, but I'd be happy because it's like a new game to play. Yeah, I definitely traded my copy of, I think, Mario Land 2 for, I believe, Mortal Kombat 2, which is a bad trade. So yes, I do know Mortal Kombat on Game Boy. But also, I would end up with all of the like unlicensed. Oh god, the camera's so broken right now. Oh, the camera's so broken. I can't see anything. Oh my god, the camera's so far behind. Okay, we're fine. Oh no, that was really bad. That camera got stuck bad. But yeah, my parents always used to, like, I grew up in, my dad was a minister, and it was like a religious household, so we'd always get the unlicensed Christian video games. So I had a copy of Spiritual Warfare for the Game Boy, which is like a Zelda knockoff. I definitely remember playing a lot of that game as well. And those are the kind of games I wish I still had, because they are probably pretty valuable at this point. I sold off all my Genesis stuff, and I slowly rebought it back in my early 20s, and then I kind of just stopped doing that. And I'm glad that I don't do that anymore, because there's a few games I had that are very expensive now. So I'll never fully get that childhood experience back, but that's fine. I don't really want to play a Genesis that much. I launched that guy. I saved his life. He there, dude. Dude! Dude, I still appreciate a good, like, arcade type game, though. I didn't even own, like, my history with video games is, we were kind of one of those families that had, like, a computer, like, super early on. So most of my gaming life was DOS. Until Sonic Adventure 2, so probably like 92, we got, like, sorry, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. We got a Genesis bundled with that game. And that was, like, the first console that I personally owned. Like, I didn't have, like, an NES or anything like that. Just was playing games, like, on DOS. Which quickly turned into the world of, like, my friends at school showing me how you could just install a game with a floppy disk. You don't have to have the floppy disk. The whole don't copy that floppy era, you know? Statute of limitations. You learn so much from people when you have to, like, trade things on, like, hard media. I feel like that's how you, like, learn how to appreciate stuff, though, too, right? I definitely love the life of, like, I'm a firm believer in that you don't have a lot of stuff, like, you just get to appreciate what you have more, you know? I don't think that having a bunch of stuff brings happiness to anyone. And if they think that, they're probably just tricking themselves. Oh yeah, in high school I was all about that LAN life. We did LAN parties pretty frequently.
What's your name?
One race to go. It's Vegas, baby. This is it. Said Pac-Man, it's called Jawbreaker. I had some games like that too that were like knockoffs. I love it. Dude, I love that stuff. And that stuff, like, by today's standards, is so much more fun today than it was back then. Because you really realize, like, how poorly programmed most of those things were. Like, as a kid, you don't really notice it, but as an adult, you're like, oh man, this is way off. This doesn't feel good at all. I had a knockoff of, like, Boyo. But it was like the dude that made Tetris, whatever his name is, I always forget his name, but his face was, like, plastered all over the box. It was like, he thinks this game's great. What does he know? Because that game wasn't great. It was pretty bad, in fact. And there's also some games that I lived off the shareware versions of. Like, there's games that I played probably dozens of hours of the shareware demo that I never once played the full version of, and still haven't to this day. Which is funny, because a lot of those games are, like, freeware now. I could probably just go out and do it. Shareware was, like, cool. And yeah, they would sell, like at stores, they would sell the discs that were just filled with shareware. But yeah, it would be just like that, like X amount of games on a CD. I still have some of them because I'm like a media hoarder at times. I still have all the CDs from when I was a kid. In fact, I have like 300 or 400 disc spindles over here that are just filled with just random like weird demo discs and things like that. Like, for example, Duke Nukem. Like, I played the shareware version of Duke Nukem 1 a lot. Never once have played the full version of Duke Nukem. I mean, that's probably not true because I think I own it on Steam at this point, but until it came out there, nah. If you haven't played original Duke Nukem, like, that's the way to do it. Play the 2D side-scroller Duke Nukem. That's how you know you're a real homie. Before he got all weirdly horny. Yeah, Worms would be the perfect game for that. Good. Dude, a Mega Man for the DOS is so bad. I think they ran that at like GDQ like in the past year or two, right? I think I watched that run and I was just like, holy shit, like this is especially bad. I mean, I used to play here to give you a comparison. I used to own Beethoven Second for DOS. I played that game so much because it's what I had. And that game sucks real bad, and I knew it, and I still played it because it was something to do.
Checkpoint.
Because boredom is a hell of a drug. Boredom makes you do the dumbest stuff. But yeah, there's this an old, like a lot of people don't know about it now, but there's this old fighting game that's called One Must Fall 2097, and there was a shareware version of it, but there was only 3 characters available. And it was kind of like an RPG fighting game. It was pretty cool. And I played that shareware game probably for, I'd say, like dozens of hours, and I only knew the 2 fighters in it. Never once played the full version. There's a whole roster of characters I've never seen before. Just Shadow and Jaguar. And if you're real good at the demo, you could unlock Pyro, and those are the 3 characters you could be. Oh man. That game had like such a good soundtrack too. It sucks that it kind of disappeared off the face of the planet because it was really fun. He says from his nostalgia glasses, I don't actually know if that game's any good. It was cool back then, though. I think the shareware might have come with my Gravis gamepad. That and Jazz Jackrabbit. 2 ultimate sharewares for the Gravis gamepad. I think this is not the first time I've mentioned the Gravis gamepad on stream. My apologies. New Bloody Roar, I don't think I've ever played. It's one of those games I've heard the title of so many times and I have zero clue. I'm assuming it's a fighting game, especially based on what you said, but I don't know anything about it. But I even can picture the box art, and I don't know anything about that game. It's weird. I almost got first on the final race. If only.
What's your name?
You could transform into animals. Dude, I got 3rd. Good enough for me, baby. Look at these little balloons. They did the same thing in the first game. I could program balloons that look like this. It's like a screensaver. On bronze material, but that looks gold to me, doesn't it? I'm just saying. I think I'm gold material, baby. What is this song? This sounds like a DOS game. What the hell? They're just gonna show replays of every track. Seems like it doesn't fit. The first game was the same way, is the crazy part. Because I remember with the first game, it was like a 3D modeled cup, and like the cup would spin around to show like the top of the cup, and then you'd see like footage of you racing inside of the cup. Oh, we gotta let it play out though. I haven't hit any buttons, so I don't know if this is skippable or not, but I gotta know where it goes. I love how some of these balloons just like they're getting like slowly getting stuck. Yeah, I mean, you only see the endings if you get into circuit mode, which I don't think I ever played circuit mode as a kid in any of these. I would just do the individual races, you know? Circuit mode kind of sucks, because you're forced to do every race 4 times. So you do it regularly, you do it mirrored, you do it mirrored reverse, and you do it reverse, so. I don't think it's the best way to play this game. It kind of makes the game seem boring. The reason Alcatraz confuses me in this game is I'm pretty sure the original San Francisco Rush in the arcade, I don't know if it was a sequel, but there was one that was just called The Rock. Like San Francisco Rush, Alcatraz The Rock, or something like that. And I'm pretty sure that's what this track is from. Maybe that is the arcade version of Rush 2, I don't know. That was the sequel. Maybe that's just, maybe this game is just based on that. Because I was trying to figure out if Rush 2 is an arcade game or not. And I don't think I've ever seen a Rush 2 cabinet, but I've definitely seen other versions of Rush in the arcade. I don't know, racing games never interested me in the arcade, so I didn't pay attention to them. Kind of ignored them. Like the only thing I'd regularly play at the arcade was like Cruis'n USA, I think. And even then, they always had the difficulty cranked up so high I could never make it very far. This song sucks. Yeah, maybe that's where they stopped. I don't think I've ever seen 2049 in an arcade either. Midway. Yeah, Rush 2049 is where they change stuff up quite a bit. Oh, look, this is a secret course. I remember this course, actually. It's just the Midway arcade. It's like the Midway Studios. They turned it into a course. Oh, I forgot that this was in here. I wonder how you unlock that. Interesting. Oh, it's looping now. Okay. I got 3rd place. If I go to like one race. Oh, there it is. Dude, we gotta do it once. I wanna see the Midway course. This is just the studio. I do remember this now. Interesting. You just have to finish the circuit to unlock it, huh? So McDee's, I don't know if you were here last time I played this, but there's literally billboards in this game that just say videogames.com. So that has turned into a giant bomb product placement in Rush 2. It's funny because they're GameStop branded, or they're GameSpot branded, so at the top it says GameSpot, and then underneath it says videogames.com. But I think that is just hilarious. I'm curious if Jeff Gersman knows. I was saying on that other stream, like I should I should go into the VOD and screen cap it. It's in a few different levels, but and send it to them and just see. You would think that they probably know that, but I think that's pretty funny. Dude, this course is super boring. Why do they have Mountain Dew posters in their office? Why are they so low to the ground? This level's actually like super boring. Going this way. Oh god, this hallway does not. Oh no. We're lost. Oh shit, there's a Mountain Dew can, baby. Look at all these Area 51 cabinets. I would have to think, okay, I'll consider doing it, but I have to think of a way to attach a question to it. I gotta think of a oh, there's one right there, videogames.com. But yeah, I'll have to think of a way to turn it into a question. I think that's the more likely way to get them to read it. If as you say, I noticed this thing did blah blah blah. I don't know. I'm gonna think on it. Yeah, they have a lot of arcade cabinets in their studios. Is that supposed to be Primal Rage? Did Midway make Primal Rage? That giant monkey? It did make me wonder though, like, how many video games do you think have URLs listed in them that have like since been taken over by like a different company, and they mean something completely different now, you know? I'm sure there's a lot. Because you put web addresses in here and you don't think, oh, I'm gonna hold this domain for 20 years, you know? So there's this other guy that streams on Twitch that I watch, and he had a clip recently that went viral where like he runs like a video game store and does like repairs and stuff on his stream, and he was looking through some stuff and found like an EA tip line phone number and called it, and sure enough it was a sex line. And it sounds like that's pretty common for old video game like hotlines now, is that they just bought all of them off and turned them into sex lines, essentially. Pinkerella, yeah. I don't watch very many streams on Twitch, but I'll occasionally watch his streams. I would also be curious if like a lot of the if a lot of those hotlines, like I'd be curious if different companies like merge together to all like run through a few things, like, I mean, kind of work in the same office. Hello, Hiri. Are you enjoying Hamilton? Do you want to just rap right now? But yeah, I've actually been learning a lot about like console repair from those streams. I pick up little things. I'm just teaching myself how to solder right now and stuff, so it's good to know how to like change batteries and like minor repairs. How many times have you served the Ryan Dave? I mean, it's been in like all of them, right? Like it's something that's nailed in my head. Double patty, double bacon. Dude, I beat Todzilla and the Tag Masters. Alright, that's Rush 2. I'm done. I'm done with Rush 2. Who the hell is Holt? Nicholas Beatdown.